Good day and welcome back to my channel. So I think it's kind of obvious what is on my bench at the moment. We are going to do an unboxing of this. I believe that there have been a couple other folks who have done such, but I'm going to do it in my own style. This is going to be a creative build, so the actual project will follow. I'm going to do an unboxing of the model kit itself as is, and then when I start the project, it'll fall under the Malcolm's project thing, and we'll look at it that way. So this is the Ecto-1A model kit from AMT. Really not entirely sure how old this is, but this is a round 2 release, so this is a second, one of the second comings. Box art. Flip her over, get a look at the back. You get it says the decals for the Ecto-1 or the Ecto-1A. Now I will point out that there is there's a statement that you can build the Ecto-1 or the Ecto-1A. The transfers for the Ecto-1 or the Ecto-1A are included, but there are differences between the Ecto-1 and the Ecto-1A. And if I understand correctly, though I need to be sure, to do the Ecto-1 version of this kit will require some extra modeling skills. And I will, we'll see that as we get there. So let's go ahead and crack into the box. A nice, pretty box art. And it is not, this is an interesting kit for me. Interesting in that it's unusual. I don't usually do car kits. Although among the first kits I did, I remember I was 11, and going to a model store in near where my aunt and uncle were. We went in and I ended up coming away with not this kit, but the kit that made this kit. So there was there's a Cadillac ambulance kit that comes out. It was molded in red, and I got that kit and built that when I was, I'm quite certain I was 10 or 11 when I got that. So it's just an interesting little tidbit. Now I'm a big Ghostbusters fan. I like Ghostbusters. It was a fun movie, etc., etc. A bunch of trivia, which is not opening the box. So let's crack in. And when you open the box, you're greeted with a box of chrome parts, bag of clear parts, clear and red parts, your under chassis, your underneath and chassis, a bag of other sprues, rubber tires, decal sheets, and instructions. So, as I normally do, we will begin with the instruction sheet. Crack it open before you begin, blah, 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 blah. Details and so forth. So, now if I can get my fingers to work here so I can actually open this thing. There we go. So this is a fold-out sheet. It's not a nice little book. It's a fold-out. You have all the graphics for Ghostbusters and so on. So here's a little bit. You can build the Ecto-1, but they're telling you need to remove these little nubbies, okay? Because they are mounted on the roof. I believe, depending on how rivet countery you want to be, there's this and this. So they tell you, if you plan to do Ecto-1, don't use parts 39, 37, 38 RT, LT, and 40, which are in here. Now, I think what you will find is if you go looking, the upper housing piece is slightly different. But it's pretty straightforward. The build is you build your interior, then you build the stuff for the top. Continue to add things to the top, then start adding the detail to the the body, and then move on, and then bring it all together. And then as you flip it around, you have your where your transfers go, Ecto-1, Ecto-1A, Ecto-1A. Obviously, you guys can read, you get it. So, the instructions do not look to be too terribly challenging. It doesn't look like there's any real gotchas. If you do choose to do the Ecto-1, spend some time, and as always, look ahead, think about it, and figure out how you want to go about doing so. Yeah, it looks pretty straightforward, at least from that standpoint. Let's take a look at the bag of transfers. And these have, there you go. So your transfers for the light bar, or for the advertising bar, caution tape, movie 2, and then the movie 1, call us Ecto-1 or Ecto-1A for both in New York State. Cute little bumper sticker. I love model cars. Yeah, so that's cute. Some other sort of signage. Not bad. It's a movie kit. You have 2 axles and 4 tires. You kind of have a seam line down the middle of the tire, but it's not too terrible. There's a spot with it. The tire, you don't see, there are no sidewall markings, but you do have a nice tread, and your seam down the center is kind of hard to see, so it's not bad. That's actually kind of nice. So let's crack into here your detail sprues. This is a heavyweight plastic. Obviously, we can see flash. The detail's a little soft, a little rounded, but so which kind of runs into that's sort of the detail you see on A, an old car kit, and B, a movie, TV, sci-fi sort of subject. Sci-fi subjects tend to be less specifically detailed. Your steering wheel actually isn't bad. You've got some leather wrapped steering wheel detail there, which is kind of cool. Those are the inside of your tires. These are your fins. This is the signage, the upper part for the rack. Your so your dashboard, that's what I'm looking for. My goodness. Other than the flash that's on there, the detail is not too terrible. It's a little soft, but not bad. So there's that. More signage and specifics, and so ejector pin marks right there on that. Yeah. So those are nice. Ejector pin marks right in the middle of the dish for whatever it's for. So depending on your preference for this, it's disappointing. There's your framework detail. Not bad. Again, so this piping here has some nice texture to it. It'll take a wash fairly well. The detail on these tank pieces isn't bad. We'll see how it goes together. Again, we've got flash kind of all over the place, so that to deal with. You are molded in this white car plastic, model car plastic, which is kind of thick, kind of heavy, kind of brittle feeling. So there's nice surface detail inside for your seats. For here, and you know, these are old ambulance, you know, for the old ambulance casting. Interesting. They've cast a computer piece there, which is nice. So those are your detailed pieces there. You do have some floor surface detail, which is nice. So depending on how you paint this up and weather it, that actually should take that fairly nicely. It is going to be the interior of a car, so depending on how well you go after this, you know. So let's take a look at so there's our red pieces. I'm not going to pull them out. So these are, so you've got the old style lights, and then you've got the lights up on the fins. There's one of these. I'm not really sure where that one goes, but I'm sure there's a use for it. Oh, on the top of one of the, there we go. That's it right there. Okay. So there's that. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to pull out the clear parts and see how that goes. So this was done somewhat nicely. So here, seam running the entire length, all the way around. So they formed the glass for the whole thing like this. So you just drop the tub in now. It's shaped. You know, all the other glass pieces are part of this sprue, which is kind of cool. That seam is a little disappointing, so you can see that it's got some distortion there. And that goes all the way around. So this is your front seam, and you've got distortion there. So those of you who are familiar with the techniques for polishing out seams, that's on the inside, by the way. It's not on the outside, it's on the inside. So the polishing will be done in here to get rid of that. The other pieces seem to be fine. So your headlights, your other light, your dome, and then your rollers. There we go. So it's okay. You know, again, it's a movie sci-fi subject, which means maybe not quite the fidelity you would see out of some others. So chromed parts look like chromed parts. Those are your light rollers. That's your light bar, your hubcaps, your front and rear. So your front and rear, this is your rear step plate, and your front. Your front looks actually kind of nice. Actually, on that surface there, I'm actually somewhat impressed with how well that lower bumper is done. Actually, doesn't look too terrible. Your headlights, they are molded in rather than sunk in for, you know, a headlight. So it'll be interesting how that goes. These are your rear, so headlights or your red lights go behind there, and you can see that there's flash in there as well. So there you go. Those are your chrome parts. And the last bit, which is your body itself. So this is the underside. And it has, so there's no detail for the engine at all. There's no hood, there's no engine detail. There's all just molded into the surface. So if you're looking to go all detailed up on that, you're going to be slightly disappointed. But it's, you know, it's got some nice detail. It won't look terrible if it's sitting on, I mean, how often do you see the underside of a car? And this is the actual body. And you can see a difference in the surface texture of the lower body versus the roof. And there's overall though, this should take a paint job and a little bit of polishing very well. These are the 4 things you would have to sand off if you're going to do this without the extra advertisement bars. But it actually looks to be nice. You have some nice branding there Copyright 2015. Interesting. So according to this, possibly remolded or I guess it was done in 2015. The fit looks to be nice. You know, the piece will drop in there, and yeah, it should. The kit itself, so you know, reaction to the kit is it is what it is. I'm seeing what I expect to see in a kit that is that's a sci-fi kit. I see the fidelity that I expect to see in a sci-fi kit. That is, you know, the surface pieces and the general shape of things is probably okay. Is pretty accurate to, at least will get you what you think you're building. For those who are hyper interested in specific detail, I expect that gives you the opportunity to do some more work on it. It's a nice kit. It's fairly inexpensive. You know, I think you can pick it up for what, $25. Thoughts. So the light bar. These are pictures actually of the model, which is good, so it gives you ideas of things to do with it. Light bar, right? The light bar has, if you're going to color the light, especially if you're going to do the Ecto-1, you're going to need to color the light bar differently than what you have in here. Your headlights are molded into the chrome parts, so if you're going to make them look like headlights, you'll need work there. Your amber warning lights under here will need some extra work. So, you know, but it's doable, right? This is very, very doable as a kit. You can actually see the way the model was done. The model had silver paint for the trim, and then the windows were darkened, which is something you can do and then not see. If you do that, you don't see the seam issues on the glass. So there you go. It's a cool kit especially for, you know, what you're going to spend on it. And it's entertaining for me because I like it. It's kind of cool. I don't have many car kits. I have 3. And this will be fun to do some different things with. You know, everybody should stretch their skills once in a while, and that's what I intended to do here. I would like to go ahead and I have some ideas for this kit, and we're going to try to do things differently with it and try something new. So I hope that this was useful, helpful, or otherwise at least entertaining for those who watched. And I thank you very much. I will speak to you next time. Take care.